Our drippy friend here is about to have an adventure in a drippy brainrot ocean, full of other weird brainrot creatures. Come with me on this adventure. We're gonna go down, down, down into the deep, deep ocean. Down in the deep, deep ocean, there is a giant squid with tentacles as big as houses and a brain the size of a planet. It's so smart that it can read your mind, sees that you're scared of the dark, so it immediately turns off all of the lights in its house, plunging you into total darkness. Then it reaches out one of its giant tentacles and tickles your face. You try to scream, but it sucks all of the air out of your lungs, so that you can't make a sound. You struggle, in vain against its crushing grip, and then it squeezes your face with its tentacle until you black out. The last thing you see is the giant squid's huge, unblinking eyes staring directly at you. When you wake up, you find yourself inside the giant squid's mouth. It's so dark and slimy in there that you can't see anything. Feel around and find a small opening. You crawl through it and find yourself outside again. You look back and see that the giant squid is now a tiny little guy. You also notice that the ocean around you is now filled with all sorts of weird, drippy creatures. There's a jellyfish that looks like a huge brain, a crab that scuttles sideways, and a fish that swims upside down. You also see some very familiar faces from the deep sea, a giant isopod that looks like a cross between a pillbug and a monster, and a blobfish, which is basically just a big fat blob. Decide to follow the jellyfish, which seems to be heading towards a huge clamshell. As you get closer, you can hear what sounds like a loud sucking noise. When you finally reach the clam, you see a giant whale, a blue whale, to be exact, the biggest animal that has ever lived. The blue whale opens its mouth to take another massive gulp of water, and then it notices you. It's so surprised to see something new in its mouth that it accidentally swallows you whole. You find yourself in a dark, dank place. At first, you think it's the inside of the blue whale's mouth, but then you realize that it's actually the blue whale's stomach. You look around and see that the walls are lined with a slimy white substance. You touch it and realize that it's made of krill, the blue whale's favorite food. The krill must have been digested, but for some reason you aren't. Start to panic, but then you remember that you have an octopus. You reach into your pocket and pull out the octopus, squeeze it gently, and it turns into a key. You use the key to unlock the stomach and escape. Outside, you find yourself in the giant brainrot ocean once again. You look around and see that everything is starting to fade away. The blue whale, the giant squid, the jellyfish, they're all becoming nothing more than a distant memory. You feel a sense of peace come over you as you realize that you'll never have to see these terrifying creatures again. And then you wake from your dream.